Consecutive integer word problems. Okay, so now you know how to solve two-step equations. There's a lot of new types of word problems you can solve. This is one type that I'm going to go through today. These word problems look something like this. The sum of three consecutive numbers is 303. What are the numbers? What are the numbers? Well, we could call the numbers x, y, and z, because we don't know them. But instead of calling them x, y, and z, I'm going to try to call them all x. Because then I only have one variable to solve for. So if the first number is x, and I'm looking for three consecutive numbers, what is the next number? First number is x. What is the next consecutive number after x? Let's think about it this way. If my first number is 3, what is the next consecutive number after 3? What's the number after 3?
4.
4. Right? What's the next one?
5.
What if the number, I don't know, maybe it's 27? What are the next two consecutive numbers? 27, 28, 29. Right? You guys are taking a little while to answer that. Does that make sense? The number after 27 is 28, right?
Yeah.
So if this is x, what is the next number?
28.
Not necessarily. Here it was 4, right?
Yeah, so would it be the first one or the second?
Yeah. If my first number is x, what is my second number?
4.
Not here it wasn't. Here it's 27, 28, 29, right? I could think up a million different scenarios. If the first number was 50, the second number could be 51, 52 is the third number, right? What am I doing? How am I figuring out the second number?
Is it 32?
How do I figure out the second number?
Do you add it by the other row or?
I add something to the first number. What do I add? What does it mean to have three consecutive numbers? I have one number, the next number, the number after that. What is the next number in a sequence? Any of these sequences. If I instead said x as my first number, right? I have x. What's going to be the next number?
X.
X.
This is kind of confusing.
So my first number here is 3, then 4, and then 5. First number here is x. What's the next number? What's the number after x?
Y?
I could say y. It's not really going to help me that much, though. What is the number that's after x? So if x is 27, the next number is 28, right?
Yeah.
If x is 50, the next number is 51.
Yeah.
If x is 3, the next number is 4. If x is 120, what's the next number?
121.
Okay.
Is the next number just the number right after that?
Yeah, what is it though? What is the number right after this?
Just a number?
That's another way of saying 4. Can someone tell me what 4 is? But instead of saying 4, I want you to say number after x? Yeah, what is it? Just plus 1? X and then what?
X plus 1.
X plus 1.
And then x plus 2. And x plus 3.
Well, wait. How many consecutive numbers are we looking for?
3.
So why would we go to x plus 2?
Well, I'm just saying if it were like...
Okay, if it were more. But it's not, right?
Yeah.
They're asking us for the sum of 3 consecutive numbers. So the first number is x. The second number is?
X plus 1.
And what's the third number?
X plus 2.
Yes. That's it. That's it. Once you've figured this out, this way of writing these 3 numbers, the rest of this problem actually becomes pretty easy. Okay? The sum is 303. So watch what I'm going to do. The sum is going to be x plus x plus x, which makes what? 3x. 1 plus 2, which makes 3. The sum is what? What does it say? The sum is sum is equal to, what is it? We've turned this sentence into a mathematical sentence. This is something that we can solve. Using algebra, we can always figure out the answers to these problems, which is awesome. That is so cool. You do not have to guess and check. You can just know the answer using algebra. So let's just rewrite this equation. 3x plus 3 equals 303. Right? How would I solve that? I want to solve for x. What do? Subtract 3 from both sides. So that gives me 3x plus 3 minus 3 is 3x. 303 minus 3 is 300. Now what do?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3.
That gives you x equals 100.
Am I done?
See.
What did they ask me in this question? What are the numbers?
Oh. No, we're not.
Well, the first number is x. So what's the first number?
Ooh. The numbers 100, 101, 102.
Uh-huh. The first number is 100. The next number is x plus 1. So what's that?
101.
101. The third number is x plus 2.
102.
So I'm going to write my answer as a sentence. The numbers are 100, 101, and 102. Boom. That's right. That's it. That's how you solve these. Let's do another example. Can I erase this?
Uh-huh.
Alright. What if they just gave us 2 numbers? The sum of 2 consecutive numbers. So, before I even go on, they gave me 2 numbers. As soon as I see this, as soon as I read this, the sum of 2 consecutive numbers, what are you thinking in your head?
There's going to be 2 numbers as the answer.
Say again?
There's going to be 2 numbers as the answer.
There's going to be 2 numbers as the answer? Okay. Well, we don't know what they asked us yet, so it's not totally true. How do we write two consecutive numbers in mathematical terms?
X, then x plus 1.
Yeah. So this is what I'm thinking when I see this. I'm thinking the first number is x, and the second number is x plus 1. Okay? This is the translation of this part into math. And let's say they said the sum of two consecutive numbers is 173. Now, this is why you don't know if they're asking us for two numbers. They might say, what is the first number? Right? They could ask you, what is the lower number? I was thinking of just asking you, what are the numbers? But pay attention to the question at the end, right? Sometimes they'll ask you one thing, sometimes they might ask you another thing, right? They might even ask us, what is the product of the numbers? Whoa, how would you know that?
You would have to solve the numbers, then multiply them.
Exactly, you'd have to solve for the numbers and then multiply them. Brilliant, right? So pay attention to the question that they do ask you. Here they are saying, what are the numbers? So we're just trying to find the first number. Okay, how do we do this? How do we write this as a mathematical statement? They said the sum, so we're going to add up this and this. X and x makes 2x. You guys agree? Plus 1 equals what?
173.
Yeah, it equals the sum. 173.
Then you subtract both sides by 1.
Good. Subtract 1 from both sides. So 2x equals 173 minus 1 is
172.
172.
Then divide by 2.
Divide both sides by 2.
And that gives you
X equals 172 divided by 2. Let's see, it goes into 17 8 times. 3 times 8 is 16. Goes into 12 6 times. 86. Am I done? I found what x equals.
No.
No.
You have to find the second number.
Yeah.
And
the
then
first number is x. 86. What's the second number?
87.
87. So the numbers are 86 and 87. That's it. You guys have questions about how to set these up? Let's just practice some pieces of this. Let's say someone said, I was looking for 4 consecutive numbers. What would be my first number?
X.
Yeah, first number is always pretty much x. What's my second number?
X plus 1. Then the third is x plus 2. Then the fourth is x plus 3.
Make sure you're writing this down in your notes, guys. So 4 consecutive numbers would be x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3. How would I find the sum of that? What would be the sum of 4 consecutive numbers? If I add x plus 1 plus x plus 2 plus x plus 3. This is what we're doing. I'm counting up the number of x's. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4x.
So that's 4x, right? And then I'm adding all the numbers together. 0, 1, plus 2, plus 3.
6.
So that's 6, right?
So 4x equals 6.
4x plus 6 is the sum of this. Right? All I did was add up 4 consecutive numbers. Now, I want you to notice something. The sum of 2 consecutive numbers will always be 2x plus 1. The sum of 3 consecutive numbers will always be 3x plus 3. And the sum of 4 consecutive numbers will always be 4x plus 6. What changes is what goes on the other side of the equal sign. Okay. But I don't really think it's worth memorizing this. Right? Because you can get it so easily just by listing out your numbers and then adding up your x's and adding up your numbers, your constants. Okay. You can check your work if you put this in your notes, right? The sum of 2 consecutive numbers is always 2x plus 1. The sum of 3 consecutive numbers is always 3x plus 3. And the sum of 4 consecutive numbers is always 4x plus 6. Does anyone see a pattern? Do you want to guess what the sum of 5 consecutive numbers would be?
10. No, 12.
Is it just going to be a number? This is the sum of 2, 3, 4. So you're saying the next one in the pattern would just be 12.
No.
Does that fit the pattern, do you think?
It would be 4x. 5x plus 12.
5x plus 12. Now where did you get the 12 from?
Because 3 times 2 is 6, and then 6 times 2 is 12.
3 times 2. So you're just basing it off this one.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm confused about, like, how does the 1 fit in?
Right. How does the 1 fit in? So it's probably not 12. What's the difference between these two? What's the difference from 1 to 3?
2.
What's the difference from 3 to 6?
3.
What do you think is going to be the difference between 6 and the next number?
9.
2, 3, 9?
I mean, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, it's
4.
5x plus 9.
So 6 plus 4 is 9, right? So
Yeah.
that's going to...
No, 6 plus 4 is 10.
Oh, 6 plus 4 is 10. 5x plus 10. Let's see if you're right. The sum of 5 consecutive numbers. What would be my first number? What is my first number always?
X.
X. What would be my second number?
X plus 1.
X plus 1. What would be my third?
X plus 2.
What would be my fourth?
X plus 4.
X plus 4?
X plus 3. Sorry.
X plus 3.
Little.
And what would be my fifth number?
X plus 4.
X.
Sorry.
Right? These 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I add these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 4 plus 6 is 10, 5x plus 10. That's what we said the pattern was going to be. Anyone want to try to guess what the sum of 6 consecutive numbers would be? Let's look at this pattern.
11.
Sum of 6 consecutive numbers is going to be 11.
No, 6x plus 11.
6x plus 11. Where did you get the 11 from?
Because if you look at the pattern, it's 2, 3, 4, then 5. It would obviously be 5.
Yeah, and 10 plus 5 is 11, right?
Oh.
Wait, that's not true.
I was doing 6 plus 5, sorry.
Yeah.
It's 15.
15. That's true.
6 plus 5.
The sum of 6 consecutive numbers would be 6x plus 1. We could do this for days. It's just looking for patterns is a useful skill in math. It's something that's good to practice. I don't really want you to memorize all of those. If you wrote them down, that's great. You can check your work as you're doing your homework tonight. What I want you to memorize is this. The first number is x, second number is x plus 1, third number is x plus 2. And even that you don't really have to memorize. Why is the first number x? Why do we say x? Because x is an unknown. Do we know the first number? No. So we say that it's x. And this is a trick that we use in algebra to solve word problems. Any unknown becomes x. Why is the second number x plus 1? Why is that? I have consecutive numbers. Why is the second number x plus 1?
Because you can't do the first number x plus 1. Because it's first. You can't do that because it wouldn't give you the right one. You should do it with second. Because it's just.
So remember we talked about this at the beginning. If the first number is x, the next consecutive number after any number is that number plus 1.
Yeah.
So the next consecutive number after 2 is 2 plus 1.
Yeah.
Right? The next consecutive number after 105 is 105
Plus 1.
plus 1. 106, right?
Yeah. So
the reason the second number is x plus 1 is because that's the next number after x. The number after x is x plus 1. Would you guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
The number after x is x plus 1. Let's do one last example. The sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 60. What is the first number? All right. First number is
X.
x. Second number is
X plus 2. I mean X plus 1.
yeah, the number after x. Third number x plus 3 is going to be the next number? No, x plus 2, right? Fourth number? Do I need a fourth number?
No. Wait. No.
No, because they asked me for the sum of 3 consecutive numbers. Let's look back at this before we go on. X, x plus 1, x plus 2. Those look like 3 numbers that would be in a row, right?
Yeah.
1 and 2. Alright, the sum. I have how many x's here? How many x's? When I add these all together. So what do I write here? The sum is
3x.
3x plus what do I get when I add my numbers together? 1 plus 2 is 3. And what did they tell me the sum is equal to? The sum is 60. Now I have my algebraic equation. How do I solve this? Subtract 3 from both sides. So I have 3x. What is 60 minus 3?
57.
What do I do now to solve for x?
Divide by 3. And that gives you x equals.
57 divided by 3. Let's do that over here.
Would it not give you a decimal?
Let's see. 3 goes into 5 once. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down to 7. How many times does 3 go into 27? 9. 9 times 3 is 27. There's no remainder, no decimal.
Oh.
X is 19. Right? first number is 19. What's the second number? 19
20.
plus 1, 20. What's the third number?
21.
21. What did they ask me?
First.
What is the first number?
19.
The first number is